Yeah. So Manny, tell me what your thoughts are.
Uh, I found the site and then I found one of the meetings in the group and I was listening to it as I was logging on. That's what was going on. And I
Beautiful.
think you said Dan was talking or something, or Don.
It sounded like Dan. Yeah. That's what,
Yeah, could have been. Yeah, I think that's who it said it was. But I'm from Cedar City, Utah, out here.
beautiful. Welcome.
Yeah.
Who else is here? Harvey.
Oh,
So this is a sharing that won't do you any good. It's worthless. Yeah. Um, it's pretty shocking though, because you would never think something that was worthless would be so valuable. We overlook just what's appearing. It just can have a feeling of not being enough. And so that's sort of the feeling of being a seeker. This is not enough. I need there's something else.
hmm.
This is everything right now. This Zoom meeting, you, my voice, you nodding, the Zoom meeting itself, the little windows with pictures in it. It's all this appearing as whatever's appearing. There can be some implications to no separation that don't seem to be appreciated. At least it took me here a while to appreciate the beauty, because no separation means no one to blame. There's no one separate to blame. And there's no one separate to fuck up. There's just no separation, however you would like to slice it. It would be this slicing it. That's the no escape part. So you've never had a thought. There's already no one in the body there having thoughts. There would have to be separation for you to have your own thoughts. And if I'm being honest, I know it can feel like it. I understand that it can feel like your thoughts, your body, you're located there. I get it. But I have to say, here, that wasn't, I didn't care. Even if it felt like I was in the body, there was something here that just wasn't buying it. You know, when you smell a rat, there's like a claim that I'm located in this body, and something here just fell off about that. I'm like, well, what is claiming to be inside this body? And I couldn't find anything. So it's so great to have everybody here. This is an open meeting. Everybody's invited to participate. If you have a comment or question, or would just like to share, please feel free to unmute and jump in. This doesn't require anything, not even imagination. You could say, just to tell a story, that imagination is time. And yet everything is imagined. It's not actually happening. Yeah, all happenings are in time, and there isn't any.
I would say it is all happening. It's just not separate.
Beautiful. That's the freedom. You can't really say it right, and you can't say it wrong. There's just no way to say this, what it is. Nobody knows. There's nobody here to know. Nobody's separate to know anything. I know that I'm here because a thought informs me. Thoughts are everything, you could say. Thoughts create everything. There's nothing that's not. And there can be a belief in thoughts, and they can seem very real. until they don't. Until you realize there's no one inside there for the thoughts to be talking to.
I was just thinking that about the word happening because I hear it frequently, and it just occurred to me, and this is maybe not correct, but a happening is like, to me, is like it has continuity, like something is happening or movement, and it appears that way. But the happening is a happening when you tell a story to describe it as, I guess, as a happening. But um, but then I'm sort of thinking, wait a minute, but if that's creating the sense of time, and um, but that happening is only a happening because we describe it as such, or we make a description around it. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but that's kind of what's going through me because then I think, well, what is time? Well, time, we create or think of time because of things that we tell a story about, and that gives it the appearance of time. Anyway, it's just something I was thinking about.
Well, that's what thoughts are. Thoughts are the
Yeah.
appearance of time.
Yeah.
You have to have time to have the thought, because where's it going to appear?
Yeah. It's like the thoughts um imply time, and the time then implies the thoughts because they feed off each other, I think.
Beautiful.
Or we could say they're the same thing. They're
Yeah.
all the same, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't have thoughts without time. You don't have time without thought, without a story. It's all the same thing. And that's what we mean when we say me. The
Yeah.
me is that story in time of a happening. And it's like Michael said, well, nothing is happening. And then Don came in and said, well, something is happening. Okay, I forgot now what Don said, but he expressed it in the form of something is happening. And then Michael said, yeah, it's we can't really say it's not one or the other. We have to sort of see that we don't actually know what happening means. It actually doesn't really mean anything to say that something is happening, or, I mean, we don't know. We don't know if something is happening or not until we say it, until we tell the story of something happening. So, in other words, the happening is just a way of telling this, a way of saying it, but it also happening tends to imply it's happening to someone. There's someone in there that's in the story that knows, the story. So without that one, then again, we're lost. We don't know. Is it happening or not happening? What does happening mean? And there's like, is the sun shining? Is that a happening? Is the sun happening? The shining of the sun, the burning gas or whatever it is that happening? just by itself, well, it's happening when somebody shows up and tells a story about a sun
Hmm.
shining in time in an earth and then that also tends, with that person showing up, it tends to be a story of looking for completion, looking to get a satisfaction that isn't already here. And that's why, at least why I am always interested in this question, why we keep talking about this. Why is it interesting, all of this stuff? Because of that person that is moving, not happy, not resolved, but moving to some kind of resolution, to some kind of state that's not here. And that's the story that we keep pointing to that isn't true. It isn't happening. Anyway, stirring the pot a little bit. But I like everything you said, Harvey. This is a really good consideration.
Well, it's like I think everybody uses the word happening all the time. This is happening, that's happening. But I
Yeah.
think when Don said it, all of a sudden in me, it was like, well, what is a happening? What does that even mean? And the ha the story and all the, like you say, time, you could say time is the story, story is the time. You're right. It's like all these elements and we aggregate them together and we say that's the me. But it's all these different, I don't know, whatever we call it, energies or whatever. It's all we take, there's these elements and we say that's happening, but there's nothing really happening except that we create this sort of I don't know, like an illusion. It's like an illusion that there's time or movement or whatever. And yeah, it's all thoughts that are feeding it, and it gets mushed together and we go, oh, it's happening.
And none of that affects what actually is. It's not affected by all this storytelling. It's what actually is simply what it is, without it being known or without us being able to say it.
Yeah, it's just ising, like the sun or whatever. The story we say, oh, that's good, that's bad, or this is happening, or it's not, those are just words surrounding, it's just like story words, but it's just, I don't know, whatever, it's just ising, unfolding, I don't know. But the happening is kind of our tale about, or our story about trying to make it sense of it, or try to compartmentalize it or something. And we call it a happening.
Yeah, so Harvey, it gives the impression that it's our story, that I'm
Of
telling it.
course.
And
Yeah, because we're the center of attention.
it feels so real. It feels like it really is, this is my story. It's not anyone else's story. And it can have a feeling that you're really separate. It's quite convincing. And then all of a sudden, the stickiness to the story can begin to be seen through. It can become obvious that, wait a second, that I have a story is a story.
Yeah. So, like when we say it's happening to me, because that's what we end up doing, I'm the center, it's all happening to me. And then I guess then we tell more stories about the stories, and it just keeps going and going.
But if they're my stories, I'm going to suffer. There's just no way around it.
Yeah.
If they're just stories free, that's the freedom. They're not anybody's stories, even if they're thought to be somebody's.
So maybe it's like owning, it's like saying mine, it belongs to me, or it's happening to me. So now it's not just you might say it's not just an occurrence, whatever you would say, but it's become mine. And then I own it, and it becomes, and that just incorporates into the sense of a me. and then I can resist it or grasp at it or do whatever.
Just wanted to chime in a little, if I
Yeah,
could.
please.
Yeah, what I first time here, so maybe I'm not getting it or whatever, but it seems like we're talking about Maya, and these happenings are like an experience that's happening, and like events occur, but not to me. They're not happening to me unless I identify with it. Once I identify with it, then it's I got this ownership, and that's where the suffering comes in, because I'm separated from reality. I'm separated from the one that's 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 not affected by anything that's happening in the dream. And when I arise from the dream, I could just notice that this persona this ego, the self-centeredness, wants to claim or wants to do whatever it wants to do in order to believe and perpetuate the idea of a separate self. And what it gets down to me is that most groups and things are talking about the wrong thing. They're talking about uh, perpetuating the ego, making a better ego, a self-centeredness, instead of like you guys are doing is saying that you have to start with the reality of what's here, and if it's unknown and I'm vulnerable to it because it's present right now and it always has been. It's almost like here we are speaking as men in this group and saying, oh, who and what am I? What am I really? And can I live a life from that basis and see that everything else is that apparent or seeming reality that I always believe myself to be? Always. There was no doubt.
Yes.
There was,
Yeah, that's it.
and now there's a doubt, and there's
yeah.
more than a doubt. There's
That's it. Yeah.
and that's why you can't talk to other people about this unless they're really. It takes time. I've tried to tell somebody about this in a different type of group, and because he's a sponsee type thing, and to try to get him to understand that it's essential to recognize who and what you are. If we don't have that, we're just we're just suffering needlessly. That's the thing. It's just unnecessary. But who's the one that's suffering? Because you guys are saying that suffering is it too, and because it is. There's
Yeah.
if there's one thing, it includes everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. And all these people that say, well, how come God did this or did that? And how come he allowed that? It's not that way at all. And but when you start kind of lifting the veil, it's not even lifting the veil because there's nothing ever veiled. And there's nothing's obstructing the reality that's present right now. But see, the thought talks about that all the time. It keeps on bringing, well, I lost it and I got it again. And for years, I was seeking for an experience, a spiritual experience. Isn't that great? And then you have a bunch of them, and then and they come and go, just like everything else. So here I am trying to figure out the recognition of what I am is stable and in here without a thought about it, or with a thought about it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents for the moment.
Well, it was beautiful. I loved your sharing. It's more like music. It's more like a resonance with your favorite song. You know, I was talking to Leela today about Hotel California, and when I hear the
Yeah.
opening notes of Hotel, I have to listen. I just can't turn it off. It's just so beautiful. And then she comes to tell me, yeah, that was my favorite song too growing up. And you know, there can just be a love for music that you can't explain. You can try and explain it, but you just love it. And it's the same with this message. It doesn't seem to resonate for everybody. In fact, it doesn't seem to resonate for most, but it turns out it doesn't matter. As long as it resonates for you, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Yeah, this meeting is like music, like you said. I'm sitting here just waiting for the next musician, the next voice, the next expression, you know, to arise. And it's very beautiful. And I don't know who's going to speak next, or who's going to smile next, or who's going to do whatever. But it's like it's all happening. Happening. There we go. The happening. It's all. I'm using the word happening. It's all there. There's no separation.
Yeah. Well,
There's no.
Don, can we look at that word? Because we heard it a few times tonight. Let's take a look. What is the word happening? When you hear the word happening, what does that mean?
It's like happening is this. The this is happening. And before this happening is happening.
Well, is there a before?
Well, that's a good question. Well, everything. So yes, there's a before. The before is everything. So there's a before. Yeah. Why not? Why not have it all? The whole pie. Want to eat the whole pie, not just a slice of it.
You're saying everything includes a before.
Well, if we want the whole pie, I think we have to include everything that's not happening.
Yeah,
Include
are you including everything that appears to be happening? Is that why you're saying it's happening?
Sure.
Yeah.
Everything that's not happening,
Yeah.
which Dan would have to explain what that is.
Well, there's no story to it. We can't say what's not happening, because what's happening, when we say what's happening, that's the story of what's appearing to happen, of what it's the story that we tell about what appears. So, yeah.
And that story that we're telling is the happening.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But it's also not happening.
How is it not happening?
well, because it can't be put into a story. What this is. The story is only, you could say it, well, the appearance of it is the story. The appearance, but it's, I mean, the appearance is in time. It's the thing that has a shape and a form and a, but that's not what this is. This has, it's both at the same time. It's in time and it's not in time. It's in the shape of what appears, but it's also what is appearing. What is appearing as the appearance? We can't say what that is because it's all, anyway. But I'm using words because you asked me a question. I'm trying to answer it, but I'm running out of words to talk about what's not happening.
So what if there's just what appears? Clearly, it could appear that there's a before. There could appear as if there was a before after. Doesn't mean that's just what's showing up. And I think part of the problem is then we get stuck on, well, was that really happening? Is it not real? That's what is. That's the isness or this showing up as. But like the words before and after, we make it up as if that's before, present, after. We make it up as if that's the way it is. But those are just words and definitions that we've overlaid on stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is, if there's a seeing, not that we're seeing, a seeing of just what is, and if it appears like there's a before or after, that's just what's appearing, and not to go any further than that, to go full stop at the appearance and not try to figure it out or classify it. That's what's appearing. Boom. And then not moving off that.
But is there even seeing?
Not in seeing. That's again, it's just a word it's like just a word. It's just a word. We're languaging different words. But however it's appearing is however this is appearing, and not worry about, even if it's a story, or if we say, if it appears like a before, it appears like an after, right? That's what's showing up. And to me, it's just like full stop. Because the moment we try to figure it out or do anything with it, it actually almost creates that separation, because it creates a me who's trying to figure it out. And maybe in a sense, it's just whatever's appearing, that's it. And just full stop right there. I don't know, it's just thoughts. I I think there I think, and a lot of times when I'm listening to different speakers or whatever, there is so much attempt to try to explain, describe, figure it out, and so on.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just dog barking, frog croaking, rain falling, and then that's it. Don't go any further. That's the isness, and no need to go further. No need to try to figure it out or look for something profound, ordinary, extraordinary. It's just what's appearing, and just that's it. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, I think the technical term, Harvey, is dog shit simple.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's so simple, it's overlooked.
yeah.
It's because it's already these words. It's already the hearing of these words. It's everything. All is this already. It's already the case. So whether
Yeah.
you think this is you talking, or you think this is God talking, or fill in the blank, it doesn't matter. And that's the freedom.
So, in a sense, already the case. Well, whatever appears, that's already there. Whatever showed up, it's already that, and not try to classify it or do anything with it. It's just it's done. it's hiding in plain sight.
Well, exactly. Like when you're sitting in a movie theater, what do you need to do to watch the movie? Like, do you need to get out of your seat and run up to the screen and start fixing things?
You're right. Unless I want to run for popcorn and pay $25.
Did you say $5? You haven't been to the movies lately,
No, I
pal.
said 25.
Oh yeah, you have
No,
been.
no, no, I've been there. No, between the hot dog, the soda, and
Oh
the
my God.
popcorn.
Harold,
That,
Harold in the Purple Crayon. I saw Harold in the Purple Crayon with my sister. It's a kids movie. It's a great movie. But like a popcorn and Coke was $25.
yep, yep. And it's stale.
Yeah, yeah, and they were little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, guys. It's so free. You know, bitching about the high prices is this too. It's already it. There's no escape. So have at it. Like it's a way, like it's the king has no clothes. You know, when we all thought the king had clothes, we had to watch what we were saying. When we thought we were separate, we thought it was us saying it. So we had to couch it in just the right way. You know, how should I, you know what? There's all that efforting. And that can just all drop away for no reason. Like you started, I don't know, and then you don't go anywhere.
Or you can go, I know, and then don't go anywhere.
You can't stop.
You can have you can have it all. You can have the whole pie. Oh, sorry.
Well, you actually do have the whole pot. You are the, I mean,
No,
the whole pot, it's already,
I know
you
already.
know, it's like, if it, I almost think like the pie is a big, you know, a circle like a pie. So you're not going anywhere because you're always there. You're always there. There's
Yeah.
nowhere to go because you've already, you're pie, you're the pie.
Yeah, where would everything go?
So that's the answer to the question before that Don and Harvey both were kind of playing around with, like, what is it that's not happening? Okay, when I said that, when I talked about what's not happening, well, that's it. That's where everything is happening, when everything is where it's happening and not happening, right? Because the where it is, the when it is, that's all the story of happening. Like it's always a story of a line moving from one place to another. That's what time is. But that's just the story. But where is time happening? And when? It's in a timeless thing that doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a word, but it's this. It's what everything is.
That's a good point, Don, because that if we put aside the words before, after, this, that, then it's like it's like, I don't know, it's almost like a seeing that you get stuck in the word before, or like here and there. I'm here and Dan is there, but then for you, it's you're there, you there, you
Right.
know, you're here and there. We get stuck in the words and it creates all this muck.
Right. It seems like we're actually talking about something, but then when we look at it, there's nothing there. There's no there. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so freeing when you realize you're talking about nothing.
It's sort of like, yes, everything is happening, but it never happens. Right? Because it's only just this is the only thing that actually ever happens. So again, it's like the change and the changeless are there at the same time. There's no separation. To talk about it, we have to talk about the changes, and that's the happening in the story. But yeah.
You know, sometimes when it's said it's everything is this, but then sometimes the phrase, and it's not even that, or it's not, because you can get, there's a, it can accidentally, this become a landing place. And so it's this, but not even that. It's not even that. It's
Yeah, beautiful, because this is still a word.
So that's the gesture that we make to try to kind of counteract the mind wanting to seize on the word. But of course, if we really wanted to do that, we'd have to keep going. It's not even this, and not even this, and not even,
Yeah.
you have to,
That's why here all the fighting over words is kind of, it's like, I don't get it, because it's not in the word. The word is never captures it. And it's so beautiful that it's like so free that there's nothing, we're not actually talking about anything.
I had a question for you, Michael. It's because you mentioned that you had dealt with Vedanta somewhat.
Mhm.
And what I learned from that, though, is that there is the reality, something that never changes, the whole and complete, infinite and never affected by anything. And then there's Maya, or the parent reality, the seeming, everything that's outside of what I really am.
Yeah,
But yet what I really am includes all of that, is what you're saying here. It's just not a personal identity that I need to take over any of it, because even the spaciousness of what allows everything to be, what seeming, everything springs out from the emptiness, or whatever you want to call it. And then it's the fullness of life is here right now. And it's not separate, as opposed to me calling it, this is real. And you could even give it a name of, I'm the conscious aware witness to this experience that's appearing right now. You know, it, there's nothing there
yeah.
to witness it. But
what
there's
if
an implication that there is. Yeah.
what if it's just again just a thought. Um, because I've read a lot of Vedanta and a lot of like Buddhist teachings and so on, because I teach all that stuff. But what if when we think of changeless, change, what if we took those words and just put them aside and didn't worry about is it change or changeless or permanent, or just what if it was just don't know, and that's all that's left. It's just what's appearing, in a sense where, because sometimes I think even when I'm teaching it, I'm grasping or we're grasping at a word to hold on to.
Yeah.
Change, permanent,
Yeah.
essence. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching it because I'm teaching from these different teachings. But then deep down, I'm like thinking, wait a minute, is that just another I'm changeless or I am change? Or but then all of that is like, well, maybe it's neither or both. Or it's like I'll even say to people like, is it one or the other? Is it maybe both? Maybe it's neither. Maybe in the neitherness, it's just like not knowing. And that is like, I don't know. And that seems to be, I don't know, there's something about that that resonates. I just think, I don't know. Because then because of the stopping, there seems to be like almost like a stopping of, well, here's what's appearing, here's what is, and no need to go any further to try to categorize it, or I don't know, but it's something I think about. And sometimes I feel when I'm teaching this stuff, it's like, yeah, but is it, do I even resonate with it? But I have to teach it.
Yeah. Does neti help on that? Because that, they say got this, not that. That's another term though. And
Yeah, and it's good you mentioned that because I've thought of that too. But
yeah,
even in neti, and it occurs, well, not this, not that, or not this, not this, not this. But then that, in a way, the words become sort of another thing I could grasp onto or hold on to. And even that may be too many words. I don't know,
it,
but that's what I sort of think sometimes. Even neti becomes another thing to hold on to.
it
And
applies
it
the
may be
opposite.
what's that?
It applies the opposite too. you know, you think about it and well, what's the opposite of that? So then you're caught up in the thought process again.
Well, yeah, and so it there's something there in that neti, but then like with a lot of words, it then becomes another, well, this is the way we do it. Just say neti or not this, not that, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But then sometimes that in that trying to figure it out or work with it, there's still just what is the isness of
Yep.
like beyond words, or even
There-
beyond words is too many
There
words.
can be an exhaustion, like here
Yeah.
Nettie was exhausted.
Yeah.
Really, really. You can Nettie till you take your last breath.
Yeah.
So here was a giving up on Nettie.
Yeah.
But what makes me laugh here is as I'm listening to
Mhm.
this beautiful music, I go, Nettie, and then I go Nettie to the Nettie. And then if I go one more Nettie to that Nettie, and then you just sort of give up or break down or get enlightened or whatever. But so my new teaching is Nettie to Nettie.
Now I got it.
Yeah. It was that extra Nettie that did it.
That did it. That's the shift.
So there can be like a collapse, a giving up, a waving of the white flag, a humbling, a breaking, where you run out of tries. You've tried all your tricks,
Yeah.
tried all your everything you can think of, you've tried. Nothing's worked. Now
Mhm.
what?
You know, that's in the story of the Buddha, after seeing all these teachers and the good, the bad, trying this, trying having powers, nothing really made answered the question. And eventually, after he does a fast and his students run away, he just basically says, I'm gonna just find a tree, set him to the tree. I give up. There's no teachers. They may be very good. Maybe they've got something, but it's not providing an answer. And it's like just sitting down and saying, I'm done. I'm done.
Mm.
I can't go anywhere else, you know. And Michael, I think of the story you've told sometimes of yourself of reading all the books and going through whatever. And then it's like you do it and it seems like but nothing really happened. And it's like the exhaustion is how many more books can I get from Amazon? I mean, they're happy with me, but
Yeah,
how many more?
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I want to go back to what just came out that caught you said nothing really happened.
Mhm. Which included everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need a reason. Me needs a reason for everything. Everything it does, gotta have a good reason.
Mm.
Don't want to have a stupid reason. Got to make sure it's a good one. But this doesn't play by the rule book. You know, it's all of it. It is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like it or not. This there's no way to say it. This both couldn't care more and couldn't care less. So caring for something is this too.
How could anything really happen if it's already
Hmm.
happening? If it's already,
Yeah, it's already. You know, it's like trying to go back into the projector and change the film, you know? It's already there on the screen and you're trying to, no,
Yeah.
wait, I want to go back and change it. No, now it's you trying to change it. That's what's happening. So that's the no escape. You never escape this.
Is there anything that's not already?
So yeah, that's the big surprise, that feeling lack could be it. Feeling lack. I don't feel like I have enough. That's everything. Expressing as feeling lack.
How about the potential for things? You know, in the causal body, they talk about the potential for the next thing that's going to arise.
Well, you could say all there is potential.
Yeah. But then he was saying that the kind of the opposite of that, that it's already demonstrated, it's already present.
Again, it can't be explained. The mind will try. The mind that you can't even find will try. The mind
What's,
that
yeah.
you assume is yours. Go ahead, Manny.
What's the next question? That's the mind going, jeez. Full stop. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not knowing is just, it's really so, it's so honest. You really don't know. That's, I mean,
Well, of course, it's not that you don't know or I don't know because there's no I already.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't need to. Like look at the beautiful coconut tree. He's not sweating. How do I get these coconuts to grow? It's just all happening. You know, the rain just appears. Coconuts just appear. Pain in your leg. I don't know what the hell is up with these leg cramps lately. But grabbing your calf at 2 a.m., going, what the hell is this? That's it too. As wanting it to go away, as wanting to massage it, as wanting to run around my room, do jumping jacks, whatever. Whatever this thing can think of to alleviate the pain. So natural. So innocent. And the innocence is really the key. It's just innocence playing as everything, even the violence.
So when Manny, when you were talking about conditions or potential, and so conditions may seem to appear that we may come out and say, well, that's going to lead to a thunderstorm conditions, but that's just what's appearing. And that's okay too.
Mhm.
That's what's there. It's not like it shouldn't be there or it shouldn't be there. It's fully inclusive, I think, of if that's what's appearing. It's like a film on a projector. Each frame is complete unto itself, exactly as it is. And paradoxically, it looks like there's continuity, but that's just what is. And then full stop. So the conditions, if it appears like there's conditions, great. If it appears like there's no conditions, great. Whatever appears is whatever appears. But then if we try to say that's real, not real, this or that, then we get into all kinds of thinking and stories, but just say that's what's appearing, and then just full stop right there.
Yeah.
And it's not that that full stop is an act of doing, but it's almost, I don't know, it's beyond words, but it's just this stop, full stop. But then there's also, but if it looks like there's continuity, that's it too.
Mhm.
Yeah, the dream of continuity can appear as well. Continuity also,
Mhm.
not separate from the dream.
Yeah, I like that. What I heard too was because it seems like life is present right at this instant, whatever you want to call it. It's here. And then when I think I got it, that I personify it into thinking that now this is solid and never changes, that kind of stuff. And these are the rules still apply. And so I've stopped the flow of what's always present. And I've kind of gone off to the sideline and in this it's like I'm bounding myself. I'm harboring resentments. I'm harboring all this other stuff and thinking that that's what I need to do when it when all I need to do is see that, well, see that it's all present right now. And without, it's almost like, it's like a free fall or an acceptance or a surrendering to. I'll tell you, just a quick line here. The fear of what I had to go through in order to let go of some of the ideas that I had about being a controller, this idea, I got it together, and all of this stuff. You feed yourself with all the spiritual jargon, all of the teachers, everything, all the books, just like somebody saying about Amazon or whatever. And you have all that, and then you finally say, none of it works. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, go back to the coconut tree, because the
Yeah.
coconut tree doesn't do anything. It doesn't make effort, and
Yeah.
yet everything gets done.
Everything is fine.
But
It's
no,
almost like,
it doesn't
yeah,
have to do anything. It doesn't have to see anything. It doesn't have to figure out anything. It just
Yeah.
does. It's
Beautiful.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harvey, in a way you could say we are human beings are coconut trees with the ability to think. So now you got a bunch of instead of just like the normal coconut trees, just they're not even doing or not doing, right? You wouldn't say the coconut tree is allowing life. No, it is life. So there's no separation already. There's already nothing to do already. And that can include doing.
Well, there's nothing to
Yeah.
do because it's already done. And the coconut tree doesn't have to plan to do anything because it's done. Whatever's showing up is whatever's showing up.
Yeah, we're just fancy coconut trees.
yeah. It's good to be here to see the knots that I've still hung up on, kind of untie.
Beautiful.
And that's what life is all about. It like brings you to a situation where you can actually see the next thing. that frees you from the chains and ties that are embedded in my brain, thinking that I got something together. It's it's like a coconut hollow head here.
Knots in your brain are
Yeah,
already complete. That's already it
it's
too.
it's
So there's
already
nothing to
done.
do with the knots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're all good.
yeah, yeah. The surrendering was finally. It's almost like I'm not an AA, but other people are, and I've done program with other people, and the hitting bottom, asking for assistance. God help me. I guess I give up.
Yeah.
It's just that's it.
Yeah.
Until you get to the point where it hits your gut and you feel it, and I don't care, regardless of the consequences, I'm not going to go through this anymore. It's like you're finally saying that my belief system is gone to hell, and I'll leave it there maybe.
Yeah. There can just be a simple resonance with all of this. You
Yeah,
don't need to know how, you don't need to know why, you don't need to know because. Just this flat out resonance that's, I don't know, all is this. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
It's so simple and so direct and so freeing. Are there any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
I would just say
Thank
that
you.
was perfect what you just said.
It's been a real lovely pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you,
Oh.
Don. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Harvey, Cedric, Dan, Anon, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you too. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being there.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank
Yeah.